Watch Michael Thomas run the slant on Kendall Fuller. He's the outside receiver in this twin alignment. It's a simple looking route at first glance. A quick release, a little shake, and a well-placed, well-timed throw. But much like lines of poetry or movement in dance, a good route has layers of sophistication below its simple veneer. I'm Matt Waldman of the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. This week's RSP Boiler Room puts a simple slant under the microscope to magnify the technical acumen of the player and what an evaluator can project for that prospect's future development from it. It begins before the snap. If you saw this game on TV, you may recall the in-game analysis mentioning that Fuller gave Thomas the inside because the corner stance is shaded to the receiver's outside shoulder. This sounds bad, but I believe it's by design that Fuller did this within the context of the scheme. The Hokies have 10 defenders in the box, and the deepest defender is the safety 7 yards off the line of scrimmage at the hash opposite Thomas. If Fuller plays inside shade on the Buckeyes' most dangerous deep threat, then he's, quote, giving the outside. And then a successful outside release from Thomas puts the receiver one-on-one deep with no help from the safety over top. This is a 3rd and 5 in a 0-0 game with the ball not quite at midfield. It's much smarter for a defense to force the opposing offense to execute a sustained drive of multiple plays rather than enhance their opportunity to get there on just a single play. So Fuller's outside shade is by design. Defense is about having layers of fail-safes. If Fuller can't prevent Thomas from getting open on this route, at least his position can at least dictate the route be a pattern to the inside, so the safety dropping from the left hash to the middle of the field has a chance to minimize Thomas's gain. So if you want to say that Fuller gave Thomas the inside, it's a reasonably true statement for the water cooler set. If you want to understand the philosophy behind the choice, Fuller's alignment is designed to minimize the chance of one play leading to a touchdown within the scheme he's a part of. This is why context matters. If this were a chess match, the end zone is the king, and Fuller is a lesser piece working in tandem with other pieces on the board to keep Thomas from winning the match on a single play. A better statement about Fuller's position might be Fuller's position and the defense's alignment dictated the inside breaking route if Thomas wanted to get open for his quarterback. You probably just learned that I'm not very good at water cooler conversations. Although Fuller's position dictates an inside break, Thomas still has to execute a route good enough to earn separation. A closer look reveals there's more happening than the simple explanation of a quick release, a little shake, and a well-placed, well-timed throw. It all begins with the first step. Fuller's position is based on protecting the outside at all costs. It means Thomas has to threaten Fuller's sense that his defense of the outside could be compromised by the wide receiver. The Buckeye receiver's first step is a hard plant outside with his sideline leg. Now look at Thomas's body position before that first step even hits the ground. The pads are over the knees in a drive phase. The arms are up. The back foot and leg are pushing off the ground from an angle that all indicates outside move. If you're the defender staring down this flash of movement, you're receiving a visual imprint urging you to react to the outside. Thomas's first step sells the concept from head to toe. If Thomas fails to sell this with the angle of the step, the arms, and the pads, Fuller's far less likely to bite on this outside move. What's excellent about this movement is its efficiency. That outside step doesn't advance Thomas downfield. It only presents the illusion of Thomas driving off the line to the outside. And notice that outside foot remains just a step behind the line of scrimmage when it meets the ground. This is a refined maneuver that indicates Thomas is doing more to develop his game than simply out-athleting the competition. As Thomas takes that first step past the line of scrimmage, now look at the angle of his helmet, pads, and knees. They're all facing inside. First, he sells that urgent reaction to the outside with the pads, the arms, and the knees. Now he's selling an equally urgent move to the inside with the same body parts. Thomas also accounts for contact, bringing the inside arm to chest level towards the cornerback to set up a chop with his outside arm. This release move doesn't make contact with the defender because it doesn't have to. Thomas is prepared to work his outside arm over Fuller's reach if the reach gets into Thomas's body, but the corner's arms never make contact for it to happen. So as soon as Thomas brings that outside arm over top, he's back into a drive phase with his pads and head straight downfield. With this single step, he's back to selling that vertical route. Fuller's immediate concern now is maintaining pace with Thomas, who is even with the cornerback. Once Thomas reaches that third step of his stem, that third step takes a slight outside angle to threaten the outside a second time during the route. Now think about the fact that Thomas has threatened Fuller's protection of the outside area twice within just 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. This is all due to Thomas's fusion of strong technique, using it in context of the defender's position, and deploying it all with excellent quickness. This stem has 3 parts: A, selling the outside, B, working inside, and then A, returning to the theme of baiting the outside one last time. This maneuver to set up the break is much like the ABA form of a song or the arc of a story. Thomas's pads, knees, and eyes are all looking downfield towards the sideline on this third step, and then the 4th, 5th, and 6th steps are that climactic moment of his stem setting up the break. Thomas jabs hard to the outside, keeps his pads over his knees, and turns the head just enough to the sideline to sell a definitive move towards the perimeter before making that break inside. These are all little moves that require practice, coordination, and timing from the receiver. That final step outside is a long stride that gives real force to the move, and that supports that APA form of the step of the stem that already sold Kendall Fuller on a break that didn't come, and that makes the actual break Thomas executes even more effective on this play. As soon as Thomas plants this step, watch the head spin from outside to inside. Many receivers fail to turn towards the ball early enough into their break, and finding the ball on a quick breaking route really is the difference between getting open and making a play. Thomas is likely looking for the point of the ball. It's that intersection between the stitches that creates a spinning X. Find that point early, and the receiver's brain is going to be locked onto the trajectory of the ball and easier for him to track and catch. The receiver extends the arms enough to catch the ball with his hands, tuck it to his body, and win the target with Fuller on his back hip. The catch is a good one, but it's the release and stem that make this play so much fun to watch. When a receiver can condense this much storytelling with movement into a short route like a slant, it's a promising sign that he'll only add more layers to his route running technique when he enters the professional ranks. Combine this technical skill with Thomas's athletic prowess, and you have a prospect who could fit with most NFL teams. You can't say that about many players in any given draft. I'm Matt Waldman. Thanks for watching the RSP Boiler Room. For more episodes, subscribe to my YouTube channel, the RSP Film Room, and follow my blog, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.